Thanks for the support as a channel member, Nathan Curry. No, I think I've got it. I've got the sheet to read from in front of me as well. I'll read from the sheet. It'll be fine. Okay, I'll leave you on the line. Did you know that if you are a... I can't read from it and give it some passion. Give me a minute. Did you know if you are a YouTube Premium member... What is a YouTube Premium? Right, okay. If you're a YouTube Premium member, you can support one, it's hard to do that with a phone in your hand, one channel as a channel member, free of charge, each month. But the deadline is the 1st of July. You've got a couple of days left to support the channel for free if you're a YouTube channel member. And Mrs Wearmouth would like me to remind you that it costs a lot of money to run a large restaurant chain and Greek football club. So she'd appreciate you using it here. Is that all right? Cool. Hello and welcome to part 26 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have our first league game of the season and the first leg of the Europa League playoff against Sparta Prague. It seems like a long time since we played a game of league football. It kind of has been a long time since we played a game of league football. We've been having our European adventure all summer, and by the end of tomorrow's episode, we'll find out if it was worth it and if we made it into the Europa League and all the money that comes with that. We have made a couple more signings since the last episode. I got excited for a second there, thinking we'd sign Duffy and Damien again, but no. That was last season. This season, these are the signings we made. You can see there's a couple channel members out on loan now. Kieran Blavin, Stuart Chatterton, both going out for some experience. But we've brought in two more players. Breno is a 25-year-old Portuguese right-back, can also play centre-back, who's come in just to offer some competition to Kalapitis, who probably will play a lot of the season at left-back now because Breno will be in ahead of him at right back. He was previously of various clubs in Portugal. So it's a buddy for Ryan Lawson as well, a Portuguese buddy for him. And we've also splurged a little bit on a player we probably didn't need and couldn't really afford, but I like to have a luxury player here and there. Sarpreet Singh is a 23-year-old New Zealand international who we're paying a lot of money to. He can play attacking midfield or central midfield or out wide on the left-hand side. He's a 3.5-star current ability player, which puts him right up there with Slattery and Androutsos as an attacking midfielder and right in the mix as a central midfielder as well. But I'm also thinking out wide on the left, although he's not quite up there with the rest of them. He's a different kind of player to put out on the left, and he'll probably play some time out there too. And I just like the idea of being able to sign a player from Bayern Munich, which was the main reason we brought him in. He's going to be fancy, I think. So this is our final team now, unless we sell Lebrew, and there are still teams hovering for Lebrew, in which case there might be probably a left back come in and maybe another defensive midfielder, as Halilaj not even showing on the team depth now when we look at players who have 3 stars or above. So Halilaj, his development seems to be halting despite playing a lot of football over the last few years. I don't think he's going to be a player who's with us long term because he's not made the step up to be a real top player in this division the way Lebrew and some of the others have. Kalapitis as another example, Lawson, Kios, these youngsters who have made the step up. Even Luris has developed better than Halilaj has, even though he was the first young star. But I think that's going to be our squad, and I'm very happy with it. And this is the team we're putting out there for the first day of the season against Asteras Tripolis. Them lot. We've got Brunoli in goal, a back four of Kalapitis, Lawson, Svarnas and Breno. Lebrew at the base of the midfield, Singh and Slattery ahead of him, very attacking and creative central midfield in there. And then Johara and Baja supporting Marola up front. And it's going to be very interesting to see how good this new look attack, really. It's the midfield and the attack that's all new. Everyone back here, apart from Breno, the defence was here last year. It's the front five that's been completely reinvented over the summer. And we saw against fake Apollon that we are capable of scoring lots of goals with this lineup. The question is going to be, is it going to be as effective as the Duffy, Damien, Nacho, Androutsos front five that we had last year that led us all the way to second place in the league. Because if it is that good and we can keep that kind of form up all year, we saw in the championship group last season, if that had gone on for another 5 games, we'd have won the league. We were absolutely on fire. Now, I don't think this team is necessarily as good as that one because Duffy and Damien were very, very special. But Slattery will probably want to put himself in that category as well. And if Marola's good and Jahara's good, we're in with a chance. And Jahara is in there with his first goal for the club, 23 minutes on the clock. It's a cross in from new boy Breno, and Jahara, who's on his... or Jura. I'm never gonna get his name right, I guess. It's a good finish though. Right foot from the left-hand side. That's why you bring an inside forward in for goals exactly like that one. Don't worry, Androutsos isn't completely written off with the new signings. It's just nice to have the option to do a little bit of rotation in. And here's our first chance to have a look at Singh, our new luxury signing. Let's see him do some luxury things. Dancing through, but then runs straight into an opponent. He looks short. I didn't actually look how tall he was, but then for a little playmaker, you want him to be little. You can't really call him a little playmaker. Slattery plays it back to Lebrou, who sprays it out to Breno on this right-hand side, who's looking for a cross. Cross is there, and Marola hits the crossbar or the post, or it's certainly something wooden was involved there. Kalapitas now on the left, but didn't have a chance to get his cross in. But now he's come all the way over to the right for a long throw and finds Baja. Slattery's there with a shot from range, and that's Slattery's first goal for the club as well. He's a bit of a Channel veteran. He was involved. Was it this year's or last year's non-league to legend that Callum Slattery was involved? It's certainly not his first time being part of the Channel. And there you go. He's celebrating his return. And certainly in the Greek Super League, he's got the potential to be a real top star, because I remember when we had him in England, I think he was good in the Championship and not quite there in the Premier League. But I would suggest a player who's good in the Championship but not quite there in the Premier League is the kind of player who can rip this league up. Obviously not necessarily going to be good enough for our long-term aspirations of winning the Champions League, but they're called long-term aspirations for a reason. At the moment, the plan is just to try and win the league and get into Europe each year. And once we start building up some money doing that, we're probably going to need 2 or 3 years of regular European football and selling our best youngster each year to build up a war chest that we can then use to really push the youth level to another level. And really start churning out the youngsters and getting more active in the transfer market. At that point, we can start building a team that we're going to aim to be properly competitive in Europe in. And hopefully around then, get the Greek national team job as well. Baja's in, and there's number 3. It's Tripolis 0, Apollon 3. I don't know how good Tripolis are. I don't remember where they finished last year. I don't remember playing them in the Champions group last year. So they are probably one of the loser teams. So I'm not that worried about... I'm not that impressed with us dominating a loser team. What I am impressed with is how good we're looking going forward against a domestic team, because there was always the worry doing it against fake Apollon that we might be just good against rubbish little teams. Right, don't let performance levels drop. Always an important thing. The big test, of course, in this episode is going to be Sparta Prague, and that game has huge implications, both financially and in terms of, on-pitch success. We'd love, sporting-wise, we'd love the opportunity to have a go in the Europa League, but financially, we'd really, really, really love it, because looking at some of the prize money involved and the TV money just for getting to the group stage of that competition, it's not quite Champions League money, but bearing in mind, we're working on like League 2 budgets if we compare it to England. If you give a League 2 club in England Europa League money, it's like they've won the lottery. So it would be a huge difference to us financially. We're signing free transfers and £200,000 players at the moment, and think it's a big deal when we sell a youngster for 5 million. A couple of years of Europa League money or Champions League money, and all of a sudden those youngsters are going for 30 million and we're spending £5 million on our bargains, and that'd be lovely. Right, Breno to Slattery. Ball over the top from Slattery. Marola is in. Can he grab a goal? He cannot. He's not quite Damien, is he? But then Damien took 4 or 5 games to get going, so I'm not going to write Marola off just yet. He's certainly as quick as Damien is, just not as good in the air. Right, Luris is going to come on, and we're going to make him play as an advance forward, and he's just going to have to like it. And Androutsos can come on for Singh, like-for-like substitution, and it's nice to be able to bring Androutsos on with 20 minutes to go, knowing he's one of the best players in the division, and he can just come on and help us see out a game and control things. Baja doing very well here. Tries to play it into Luris, and even Luris has scored. That's how bad Tripolis are. Luris with his first goal of the season. Imagine if he eventually comes good. I mean, he was joint top scorer last year. I mock him a lot because he's so slow, but he's actually not the worst striker in the world. He's got a decent finish on him. He can hit a nice free kick. If we can have the rest of the team getting him in positions, this is going to be Luris to take, presumably, because there you go. Nice free kick, as we said. And I thought he'd grabbed his second. That would have been ridiculous if Luris comes on and scores. We'd have had to have played him against Sparta Prague if that goes in, because he's looking more lively than Marola. Right. We've got quite a few tired players, actually. Kalapitas, Baja, Jura. I would like to take Kalapitas off because he's recovering from an injury, but we don't have anyone who can go to left back. But then we are 4-0 up, so I guess we can just bring anyone on for him and just stick him out at left back, and it will be fine. He's going to go to that. Stoll is the player who arrived. He's 18 years old, and he arrived. My scouts thought he was as good as Ryan Lawson. He's not quite there, but he does have 5-star potential. And he is first team ready as an 18-year-old. So he's another youngster to go into the mix at the back there, and another player who could end up making us big money down the line. But that is a good first day of the season. Where are Tripolis supposed to finish? 8th, and we absolutely battered them. The media now thinking we're looking good for a 5th place finish. Still don't have anyone in the Dream 11. Ryan Lawson's still got to work his way back into that. But it looks like we're still showing us Champions League, even though we're not in it. It looks like the media are starting to recognise that we're a half-decent team, which is nice. Let's go play Sparta Prague. Right, one change for the Sparta game then, mainly because we were only able to add one of the 2 new players to the Europa League squad in time, so we had to choose between Singh and Breno. I went for Singh. Probably should have gone for Breno because, of course, Androutsos could have played in there, but I didn't want to upset my new near £10,000 a week player, whereas a right-back who's a bit better than the one we had but is ultimately disposable, he can get upset. And he did. So we really need to qualify now so we can get him back in the squad, or he's just going to stay upset. So Androutsos comes in at left-back. Other than that, it is the same team that did so well on the first day of the season. I don't know how we compare to a team like Sparta Prague. Star rating wise, reputation wise, they're half a star ahead of us, but I don't know how good their league is compared to our league. I don't know how good their players are compared to our players. My instinct is that we are probably have far less money than they do because they've been in and around European football for years, but that would be the case comparing us to a number of Greek teams as well, and we outperformed a lot of them last year, so it might be that our youngsters might ability-wise be of a similar level. We'll find out a lot today about where we stand in European football. We know we're better than fake Apollon. We know we're not as good as... Who was it we played in the Champions League qualifier? I don't even remember. Someone I'd heard of, but the name escapes me. It's been a few days since I played that game. It's dead to me now. It never happened. Singh with the free kick. Lawson is in there, but couldn't direct his header goalwards. And now there's the chance for a counter attack, but Sparta had no men forward, so it just goes to Kalapitas, who's just quite cleverly holding the ball up, giving everyone a time to get back into their own positions, and they do. And now Lawson looks up, finds Singh, who's going to try and get something going in midfield again, plays it back to Lawson. Guess he couldn't get anything going then. Lawson plays it across to Smyrnis, who finds Baja in lots of space on the right-hand side. Kalapitas on the little underlap over him, but it ends up with Lebrou, Slattery, then Singh, and eventually does find Kalapitas, who cleverly tucks it back to Baja, who bursts into the area. Kalapitas is in space, cross comes in, and it falls to Jura, and there's a goal, and it's a very, very important away goal in the Europa League playoff first leg, away from home. Less than 10 minutes on the clock. It's Sparta Prague 0, Apollon Smyrnis 1, and it was a very, very well worked goal. And this fella on the left wing, he's looking like he's going to be dangerous this season. I'm very excited for this new look Apollon team. Who needs them Southampton boys? We've got Slattery in. He's the only Southampton boy we needed. And this is all looking very positive. It looks like a lot of the away teams are winning in the playoffs at the moment. Calapeters with a big throw, but can't find an Apollon player. I think it was Lawson that he was aiming for, so we're going to only have 3 back for this counter. Although someone had nicely slotted into the back 4. I don't know who. Oh, no, that's Lawson. Well, Lawson's supposed to go forward for these long throws. I don't know why he didn't. Perhaps he used his initiative and thought, you know what? We're 1-0 up away from home. I'm going to stay back. I'm not against him doing that. Calapetus on the overlap now. Can he get a crossover again? He finds Singh, and there's Jura again, and it's 2-0. A 3rd goal of the season and a 3rd goal of the episode for Nace Jura. 2-0 up though. Lovely stuff, and it's all coming down this right-hand side. Calapetus and Baja looking very dangerous together over here, and Jura cutting in off that left wing. Looks like he is going to score goals this season, which is not a bad situation to be in. If you think back to when we were at our most threatening going forward, obviously we had the 10-game Damien spell, but when we look at normal teams that we've had, Boomal on the left wing, when he was one of the top scorers in the league, that's when we looked our best as a team, I think, apart from obviously the 10 games of Damien, which they'll be forever remembered as now, because I imagine he's never going to come back. Right. We just don't want to let our performance levels drop. If we're 2-0 up heading into this second leg, then we're starting to look very, very good for Europa League qualification. And I dared not look how much money it might end up being. I certainly know you get prize money per win and per draw in the group stage, but I wouldn't necessarily back us to win many games or even draw many games. I think we'd be going in to finish bottom of a group. So I hope there's a big pile of TV money just for qualifying. I know in the Champions League, it's something like 10 to 12 million you get just for qualifying for the group stage. I know it's not going to be as much for the Europa League, but if it's even half that would be huge for a club like us. Right, Baja plays it back to Lebrou. Lebrou finds Slattery, and there's Singh. Big ball over the top from Singh, and Marola is chasing. Can he convert? He cannot. Well, he needs to work on his finishing. He'll come good, I'm sure of it. Jura now with the corner. It's quite a low, firmly hit in swinging corner. It was quite dangerous. But now we come over to the other side, and it's Singh taking from this side, and he's trying to do the exact same sort of low-driven corner. Is this a thing that we've been working on in training? I wouldn't know. I don't go to training. I leave that to my assistant manager. And there's Janutsos. I bet he'd ever thought he'd be playing European football when he signed for us as the newly promoted team. And, oh, well, my chance of being a top-level player is gone. I've signed for Apollon. Well, here he is, playing in Europe. Lovely stuff. Lawson now does quite well not to lose the ball there, because his first touch left him in a little bit of trouble, but he got away with it a little bit. Brunoli now plays it forward to Sfarnas. Sfarnas looking for Baja but can't find him. And Sparta are starting to get a little bit more of the ball now. They're now slightly edging possession, although that was a poor pass, and it's led to Singh being able to get another attack going here, and it's back with Singh's looked very good. Bearing in mind he's not close to match fit yet. Janutsos is through on the left-hand side. Can he find a cross? He cuts it back to Lebrou, who's in loads of space, and he has a second go at it, and there's his second goal of the season, and both of them have been in Europe. They've both been long-range efforts, and I think the more he does that on this stage, the less likely it is we make it to deadline day with him still at the club. Like I said before, Lazio have already had I think it was a £4.1 million offer for Lebrou that we turned down. He has a £4.9 million release clause. We tried offering him a new contract. He won't sign anything that doesn't have a £4.5 million release clause. So he wants to lower his release clause, or he won't sign anything. So obviously I'm not offering him anything, because I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go for that amount anyway, but I suspect he might be leaving. Borges picked up a little bit of a knock, so we've brought one of our other young new signings on. Emmanuel I still don't know how to say his name. Marola's in, and just wide for Marola. Sooner or later, one of these is going to go in for him, and then he'll go on a run of scoring goals. I'm pretty confident of that. Right, Singh is going to come off because he wasn't fully match fit beforehand, so Androutsos can come on for him. And we just need to see this game out now. We've played very well. I think we'll bring Luris on for the last 10 minutes. And hopefully, I mean, it'd be nice for us to grab a fourth, but we don't need to. 3-0 is plenty. 3-1 would be fine if we conceded a goal. But 3-0, and we're looking very, very good for Europa League group stages, which, of course, you'll see on tomorrow's episode. And Drutsos can't quite skip past his man the way Singh was doing. I think Singh is going to be a very important addition to this team, playing in the Duffy role as that sort of midfield creator. And Slattery's kind of slotted into what Androutsos was doing, and Androutsos is there as a backup to them both. It's a lovely looking situation in this squad. And there is a goal for Sparta. I said 3-1 wouldn't be a disaster. I stand by it. 3-1's not a disaster. 3-2 starts to undo some of the hard work that we've already done. But that can't really be helped. It's just a well-worked set piece. We can cope with a well-worked set piece. If we hadn't have just conceded, now would be a nice time to drop some praise. But I always worry about dropping praise just as we've conceded a goal, because it might make them think, oh, yes, we conceded a goal. Good work, boys. Jura looks shattered. He's got plenty more football to come as well, because we've got another league game coming up in 3 days, then the return leg of this 3 days after that, and that will all be on tomorrow's episode. Baja might not be fit for the first game. Singh had a very good match. And this time tomorrow, we might be in the Europa League group stage. Dare we have a little look at what the prize money situation might be? So if we make it to the group stage, does it say prize money on here? I don't know where. It's not really prize money, is it? It's TV. So prize money per win, 500,000 per win, 160,000 for a draw. But I'm sure there's a big pile of TV money that comes in before that. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.